Let me ask you this. When you hear the word sexy, what comes to mind? For most, it's a body type, an image, a standard that society has sold us. But I want you to consider something different. What if sexy has nothing to do with appearance? What if sexy is confidence? The kind of confidence that commands respect because it's rooted in integrity. The kind of confidence that doesn't just elevate you, but lifts everybody around you because it's grounded in true self-assurance. And here's the truth. I didn't learn that kind of confidence from TV, magazines, or from what the world told me I should be. I learned it from real life, from watching my father and growing up in environments where confidence wasn't optional. Confidence was survival. Because survival demands more than toughness. It demands sexy confidence. The kind of confidence leaders need to stay calm and composed in high-stakes environments. The kind of confidence leaders need to create psychological safety for themselves and for those they lead. And for women leaders rising to top leadership positions in male-dominated industries, this isn't optional. It's our responsibility. It's our moral obligation to create psychological safety for ourselves and for those we lead. Because psychological safety gives us the wisdom to understand when we need to take command of the room and when we need to comfort one. And growing up, I had a father who embodied sexy confidence, the kind rooted in integrity and self-assurance. My father knew how to create psychological safety for himself and for his family because he let his moral compass lead the way. He stood firm, clear in his identity, understanding who he was and what he stood for. And my father went to the United States with a vision to build a life for the family he would raise, love, and protect. And in time, my father became a proud American citizen. And when I turned 18, he encouraged me to join the military, to serve the country he had grown to love as his own. And when I joined the United States Marines, one of the most elite and disciplined military forces in the world, I was terrified. My first boss, my first commanding officer was Colonel James N. Mattis. Now, in our community, his respect is unmatched. He carries an undeniable presence, one that could command any room because he embodies sexy confidence. And even though I was 18 years old, young and naive, I knew I was safe with him. No one would harm me because he created true psychological safety. He made me feel valued, protected, seen, and respected. And in a room full of the toughest men, all searching for the weakest link, I somehow knew I would be okay. Now, he eventually rose to top leadership positions and was a lethal force because he knew how to balance his masculine and his feminine energy so each served him with purpose. He understood that true leadership carries a big responsibility and that we must continuously develop our emotional intelligence so others feel safe in our presence. He used strategic communication to positively influence the men and women under his command, often saying, be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet. Now, in the world of the U.S. Marines, this wasn't hyperbole. This was practical wisdom. You see, we train young men and women to operate in a hostile environment where mission accomplishment is non-negotiable. And you too must use strategic communication to positively influence those you lead. But the thing that he said that left an indelible mark in my heart was when he said, but we must first win the hearts and the minds of the people. And this is not only applicable to U.S. Marines, it's applicable to all leaders, because we must earn people's trust and respect. And because of his example and my father's example, I was able to serve 20 years of honorable service as a U.S. Marine and rise to top leadership positions in this male-dominated organization. Fast forward, 4 years ago, I went through a terrible divorce, one that left me mentally, emotionally, and financially depleted. At the same time, I found my father unconscious. And 2 months later, we lost him to COVID pneumonia. The day I lost my father shook me at my core. Standing over his lifeless body, I felt something shift deep within me. I no longer wanted to fight my ex-husband. I just wanted peace, to be left alone. I felt broken, like life had beaten me down. And for the first time, I was truly afraid. Who would be there for me now? The one man who had taught me strength and masculinity, my father, was gone. In those dark, frightening moments alone, I realized I needed to forgive myself. The emotional pain was overwhelming. And with the weight of a costly divorce and the bills piling up, the reality of being a single mom in debt felt crushing. I cried like never before and began the hard work of forgiving myself. I felt like a failure, yet deep down I knew I had done the best I could with what I had. I couldn't save my dad, and I had to let go of the guilt that was suffocating me, keeping me trapped. But then I realized I had my mother's loving example. Through her example, I learned the process of patience, prayer, and forgiveness. I slowly learned to give myself grace, compassion, and empathy for all I had endured. That same process allowed me to forgive my ex-husband, recognizing he too had done the best he could with what he had. What I came to understand was I was wrong all along. It wasn't my masculinity that enabled me to rise to top leadership positions. My true superpower was my femininity, the very quality that allowed me to be patient, receptive, and empathetic in forgiving myself so I could forgive others. Creating psychological safety is what I needed to give myself so I could move forward with a renewed perspective. So how do we create psychological safety for ourselves and for those we lead, especially as women in leadership? First, we must recognize that at our core, all human beings are the same. We all bleed the same. We all share the same insecurities. It does not matter if you're Latina, Asian, European, American, or Arab. Once again, we all bleed the same. We all share the same insecurities, the same need for connection, the same desire to be respected. Mother Teresa was a powerful example of courageous leadership. She showed us that by sacrificing for a greater good, not only serves a bigger purpose, but creates deep fulfillment. She was emotional intelligence in motion, willing to give up personal comforts so others could thrive. In doing so, she created a sense of trust and safety, inspiring countless lives. Another courageous example is Malala Yousafzai, a young girl who refused to back down to the Taliban. She knew exactly who she was and what she stood for, holding fast to her moral values and becoming a powerful voice for young girls in need of education. Creating psychological safety starts with you right here, right now. This is your entry point. And the first step is practicing self-awareness. It's the key to understanding ourselves on a deeper, more authentic level. It's the ability to discipline ourselves to be still, silence distraction so we can turn inward, develop introspection, and practice true discernment. Psychological safety begins the moment you allow yourself to feel without judgment. It's acknowledging stress, fear, or uncertainty without pushing it away. It's replacing inner criticism with curiosity and asking, what am I truly feeling at this moment? And what do I need to heal so I can rise again? You can't create safety for others if you're suppressing or denying your own emotional truth. Giving yourself permission to feel sets the tone and the example for others to do the same. The second step is to model vulnerability while maintaining clear boundaries. As women in leadership, we often feel pressure to appear unshakable. But true leadership is revealed when you can say, I don't have the answer at this moment, but I'm working on it. Make no mistake, you're not lowering the bar. You're raising the standard for trust. Finally, create spaces where every voice matters, starting with your own. Make it a daily discipline to speak your truth and invite others to do the same. True leadership understands that multiculturalism, it's not just a reality, but a guiding principle, one that honors diversity, fosters inclusion, and builds deep respect. Because people don't just want to be heard, they want to feel safe being fully seen. And that begins with how you hold space for yourself and for those you lead. If there's one thing I want you to remember today, it's this: confidence alone is not enough. True wisdom is knowing how to use that confidence, sometimes to step forward with strength and sometimes to step back with composure. That's the essence of sexy confidence, a power that not only transforms you, but elevates everyone around you. So here's my challenge. How will you use your confidence wisely starting today? Thank you.